Hello, and welcome back to the Sticker Cottage and Crafted Emporium. Today I found a letter that goes back to my very first teaching job that I was at from 2008 to 2010. Um, it was a private school that did individualized one-on-one teaching, and this was one of the students that I had for a couple different classes. It says, "Dear Val, I really don't think I could have learned chemistry or physics without your help. Thank you for really teaching me science in a way that makes sense to me. I have gone from really disliking science to having it be one of my favorite subjects. That's all thanks to you. You're such a great teacher, and I really hope you teach science for a long time. Thanks for everything. P.S. See you around." Now, I was looking at web pages, but I looked up the student to see where she was now, and she's currently living in Hawaii as a yoga instructor. And while doing that, I found an article about the school that I taught at that had a quote from her. And so I found this. It says, "Student remained a full-time student at her high school where she thrived in some classes but went off campus for one-to-one instruction in others. Her physics teacher at my school made the whole world come alive and made physics make perfect sense," she said. I found this yesterday. I had no idea that this was out there, and that's me. I'm that physics teacher, and I can't even tell you how excited and happy that makes me to find this just out in the middle of nowhere, trying to uh, recall memories about this student and about that school because it was 12 years ago. It was a long time, more than 12 years ago at this point. Um, so this just made me so happy, and I had to include it in my spread. So this was her personalized stationery. And so I spent a long time trying to figure out what to do with this, which I'm glad I didn't video because it took a long time. So what I decided to do was a tuck where I could tuck this in there. And I was going to put this quote on the side tuck, like that. And I showed you this earlier. This is one of my printables. There's nice German writing on it, which is actually mostly going to get covered up. And then at the top, I'm going to put this. And then this is one of my acrylic pouring paintings. And I just cut a piece out of it to fit on there. And so ultimately, this is what this one is going to look like. And this just made me so happy. And she was a wonderful student and a great girl. And it was a long time ago. Like this was like she's a full-grown adult with her own business now. And that's very exciting to me. I hope she kept her love of science. I hope she's doing phenomenally well. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up this footage so that you don't have to watch and listen to me glue stick the whole time. And then we will come back. Okay, I am using my one of my many physics textbooks to weight that down a little bit. Help it stick, especially since that's right there on the very first page of the signature. I'm going to tuck this in here. Yep, just to make sure that the bits that got stuck down are the bits that I wanted stuck down. I'm not going to put this in here yet. I want to close this. I don't know if I want to close it yet. So I think what I'm going to do is just leave it with the textbook on this corner to hold it down. And another textbook on this other corner. Where do I have my other? I have 1,000 textbooks, just not any within Ah, here's my stats book. There. Okay, so that's where that's going to go. The next entry, here's my oh so high-tech organization method of an empty Kleenex box to hold everything. And we have this one, which is, okay, so these are from a few of the years later. I know we went back in time a little bit, back to 2008, 2009 versus 2011, 2012, between my first and second schools, during which time, from 2010 to 2012, I spent 1 year in an elementary school credentialing program, and then spent 1 year working back in industry because I couldn't afford to complete my credentialing program. And that is one reason that I continue to work in private schools, is because I never was able to get that credential. I almost got it, and then something was wrong with the paperwork, and they destroyed my paperwork, and I just haven't gotten it all back together again, because that took years. And so I teach in private schools, and I currently teach at a private school in San Francisco, and absolutely love it. I'm teaching physics and statistics, as well as 9th grade physics. So this is the AP textbook that we're using. It is very old. It is very old. Let me check yeah, 2005. So, but I mean, the nice thing about physics is teaching introductory physics, the content hasn't changed since 1905. So all that's changed is how you teach it, and that is something that I work very hard to stay on top of with the physics education research groups. So if you want to hear more about that, let me know down below, I guess, because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. So before I continue to leave it underweight, here is the spread again with a corner tuck, some of my printables on the back as a background on my black and white florals. And then this is acrylic pouring piece with some of the pinks and gold and dark colors. And so this is what I decided to do for my student who sent me a letter from my very first school. And that is going to tuck right in there, and that's where it will live. I'm still going to give this a little more time to dry though, because wet white glue does not dry all that fast. Okay, gonna leave those there. Gonna turn this off, and I will see you soon.